You've gone into the ward to do your normal shift like any other day.
He became really angry. He said, "I'm not a man, I'm a woman." This is about 6 foot tall. This man was tall, big, and very broad.
And he lunged at you.
Massive speed, really launching at me, wanting to hit me. I was in tears because I was walked out in the middle of a clinical duty. I had my patients waiting for consultation with the doctor. I had no opportunity to even hand over my patient to anyone. I was told to bring in my union rep, and I was walked out of the hospital and told never to come in the premises, grab my bag, all my belongings, be suspended. I just could not believe that this is England.
Hello and welcome to a very special edition of the Daily Expresso. Now today, my guest is not a politician or a celebrity or an influencer. She's a nurse who refused to call a male sexual predator a woman. A nurse who was disciplined by the NHS for sticking to reality. Jennifer Melle is a hero, and it is an honour to have her here on the show and in the studio. Jennifer, thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
It's like, genuinely, it's wonderful to meet you. I've been writing about you. I've been talking about you on the podcast. I've been talking about you on other TV shows.
Yes.
It's great to have you in the studio and for you to share this, I want to say horrible experience, because it's not something that I think you ever should have had to have gone through. But can you just start by telling us actually what did happen to you?
I mean, it seemed like a dream,
To
to me, a nightmare. And I just still can't believe that I had to, endure this, going through this ordeal.
To start at the beginning,
yes.
You've gone into the ward to do your normal shift like any other day.
Yes.
And then what happens?
On that fateful day, usually, like every nurse, we introduce ourselves to the new staff. We come in, we take handovers, and then we get to see the patient go and do the rounds, and just introduce ourselves and say, we are the nice staff, and that was it. After that, and then we managed to settle down the ward. Not until this nurse came running, really shaken and very scared, and looking at her face, and I said, and she said, this patient wants to self-discharge. He's getting very distraught and very outraged. He's pacing up and down the ward. Or, I need your help. And I said, what have you done already? And she said she'd called the doctor. And I said, okay, I'll come and help you, because she was also a new nurse is an overseas nurse to the ward. And I said, okay, as a nurse in charge, I'll come and support you. So luckily enough, the doctor called, and I spoke to the doctor and just spoke to the doctor. I said, Mr. So-and-so would like to self-discharge. What can we do? So usually, if someone wanted to self-discharge, it's a protocol to ensure that the doctor is informed. As a nurse, we cannot just sign them off to go. So the doctor, when I spoke to the doctor, he became so outraged when I referred to him as Mr. And he said, I'm not a woman. I'm not a man. I'm a woman.
This is the patient.
Yeah, this is the patient. Yeah. Immediately, after hearing me speaking to the doctor, Mr. So-and-so would like to self-discharge. He said, I'm not a man. I'm a woman. And he became really angry. He said, how about I call you this? Began to throw racial slurs at me, calling me the N-word multiple times. Okay. Yeah. So at this point, and I just sort of tried to calm myself down. The doctor overheard and said, if he goes against, doctor's advice. So I said, I'm really sorry, I can't refer to you as a woman. Is against my faith. Even that, he became more even angry. This time, lunch, really. He got chains on both hands and foot with 2 tall prison guards. Because he's about 6 foot tall. This man was tall, big, and very broad.
And he lunged at you?
Really lunged, got out in massive speed, really launching at me, wanting to hit me. So I just quickly took a few steps backward, and I said, if you carry on like this, I'm going to call in the security and they'll walk you out. So he was restrained back to the isolation room, the bay, in the ward. And at that point, he later on, do you want to self-discharge? But what happened afterwards is what became daunting to me. In fact, throughout the night, he decided to settle down, and even he requested for pain relief, which I did offer. Nicely forgot about the scene.
Mm-hmm.
And but I was surprised with a phone call, that a complaint had been made for misgendering.
So was this the next day, or?
That was just when I finished my shift, the night shift, obviously just heading home. And just before I, even reaching home, and then I had this phone call, that a complaint has been raised against you for misgendering a patient. Therefore, I spoke to, the management, and they said you need to produce a statement straight away, or else, you'll be suspended. And I had just requested, I was just in deep shock, and I didn't know what to do. And I was just shaking, and I was like, what's going on? I was the victim here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was really scared, and I said, can I please contact my union rep?
Mm-hmm.
And they did not give me any option. They said they expect me to bring that straight away when I come back to work. So the following day, and I returned back to work, immediately HR was involved, and I was told, you're leaving the ward today. You're being redeployed to a different department following a formal disciplinary investigation for this complaint of failing to comply to the NMC Code of Conduct, treating patients with dignity and respect, according to their wishes. So,
so is it the man? I'm going to call him a man because that's what he is. The man who we later find out this man was a paedophile,
Yes.
and that's why he was in prison.
Absolutely.
And he had a urinary tract infection.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, I'm not a doctor. I wish I was, but I'm not a doctor. But I'm pretty sure if a man and a woman have urinary tract infections, they're treated slightly differently. The way to treat the infection is slightly different for a man and his bladder to a female.
That's why it was under urology.
Right.
And that's why I had to call a urology doctor and bleep the doctor, because usually on the night time, we have only doctors on bleep on calls.
Mm-hmm.
So they would come for emergencies and stuff. So because he wanted to self-discharge. So yes, to inform the urology doctor and
so medically,
Yeah.
forget the pronoun brigade
Yeah.
in Alphabet Mafia. Medically, in order to help the patient who was a paedophile, it's right to call him a he, because the way he's treated will be differently
coming
to
also
to
from a
the
male
female.
prison. Yeah.
Yeah. So was it the male prisoner who complained, or was it someone else on the ward who complained? Do we know?
At this point, I was told that the patient complained.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And when you told the NHS bosses that, well, this paedophile had lunged at me, he got violent, and he called me the N-word several times, what was their reaction to that?
It's like almost I was forgotten. It's like the focus was on the patient and not the trauma that I'd faced.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed as if that was swept under the carpet. Nobody wanted to look at that. And nobody even, when we questioned that with the union rep afterwards, we were told, we've spoken to the patient, we'll put something in writing for you, but we never had any apologies or any further investigation that they had done, if they'd got the police involved, if they've contacted, where he'd come from, the prison that he's come from, none of that. So I don't think they even looked at that. They were just having a go at me.
Yeah.
And just trying to punish me. And this is abuse of power as well. And the trauma that I had to face during this phase, and having to undergo several disciplinary counts of disciplinary meetings and being interrogated by these panels, that if the incident were to reoccur again, will you still stop? Will you still not refer to any transgender, for example, if they wanted to be referred to as a woman? And I said, no. Mm-hmm. If it's against my faith, biblically, Genesis 1:27 says a man is a man, a woman is a woman. So I can't go against my faith, against my values, and also against my conscience. Mm-hmm. To speak the truth, because we must tell the truth, and this is also against the evidence-based practice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you feel when you were told that you're being suspended?
I was in tears because I was walked out in the middle of a clinical duty when I was having running a clinic, and I had my patients waiting for consultation with the doctor. Had no opportunity to even hand over my patient to anyone. I was just walked into the office and said they started accusing me of what they had seen in the media, disclosure of patients' information and so many things. And I said, I'm not happy to discuss this with you without my union rep at that point, because my manager then said, please, can you stop with one of the lead nurses? I said, can you just stop? You're just causing us too much distress. At that point, I was handed out a letter for the suspension. Then the following day, I was told to bring in my union rep, and I was walked out of the hospital and told never to come in the premises, grab my bag, all my belongings, be suspended. They took my badge, my IDs, and I was chased like a criminal outside of the hospital in tears. I was so distraught. Yeah.
So, I mean, my mother was a nurse. It was a lot different back in her day, 30 years ago. None of this nonsense would have happened. It wouldn't have escalated this far. You wouldn't have to have the Darlington nurses, the Magnificent Seven, having to say, actually, we don't want to get changed in a room with a man who has a penis. This wouldn't have happened 30 years ago. And yet today, it seems that the NHS is full of this.
Absolutely.
Do you think, why do you think this has happened in the NHS? How has this infiltrated every level? It seems to have infiltrated management, and they're making the decisions that are now affecting everyone else.
I don't understand with the issue with equality and diversity, if they've got it wrong with the guidelines and policies. We have different governing bodies like, the Nursing and Midwifery Council, that we abide by those policies, and we have workplace policies. Then we have equality and workplace guidelines that we should follow. And I think they are overlooking at that. They are overlooking all these guidelines, with regards to health and safety, patient care, and, I don't know where we went wrong, honestly. People are overtaken with all this new norm that they expect everybody to comply with. And it's almost like you ever comply or you're in deep trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Wes Streeting, Health Secretary, he does watch this show. I've been told he watches this show.
Yeah.
He's going to watch this episode. I'm certain
Absolutely.
of it.
Yeah.
What message do you want to say to Wes Streeting? Because for me, I think my big issue with the hospitals today in the NHS is that actually what we need in management are frontline workers like yourself, nurses who have lived it and understand what the hospital lacks and what the hospital needs more of. You are the ones who should be in charge, not some pen pusher who wears a nice suit, who comes in driving his Mercedes-Benz, doesn't mind having to pay for the parking because he can afford it. He's on over $100,000 a year. Meanwhile, the nurses who are working overtime, you're doing some nurse reports do 15, 20 hours overtime for free each week, and then you're being told to pay for your parking as well.
Absolutely.
It's nuts. So what do you want to say to Wes Streeting?
I mean, with Wes Streeting, he's visited many hospitals, and you've seen the crisis and the workload that we have to endure. And, as a health secretary, his job is there to protect and safeguard the safety of the staff and, within the healthcare system, and also ensure that the health and well-being of our staff, our mental health, emotional, psychological, and everything. So with regards to the Supreme Court ruling that took place in April, it was for him to really make sure that this is really, pushed, and that these laws are implemented quickly, and also make it prominent that hospitals and management are really taking serious toll on giving staff the right training that they need. Nobody has to go through what have to endure to face these ordeals, and it's traumatizing. And the fact that I was referred to the nursing board, risking my my entire career to my registration to be struck off, I was having panic attacks, and he has to see that this has to end. It has to be now or never, or it's going to be getting even worse. Many coming to the profession having to think twice if they really want to really go into nursing or into even healthcare.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as a healthcare secretary, I would urge waste treating to really make sure that this is out, the law is in place, and then that will give us the confidence, to go back to work and not having to worry, to having to worry to lose our careers or our registration as in nursing, having to live in fear is terrifying, that the job that we worked for so hard and I've enjoyed my nursing career.
Yeah.
Ever since as a student nurse, I really, enjoy my job. And that's why I'm a nurse. It's my calling to be a nurse. And I can never say that, I'll ever quit nursing, because that's me. Yeah.
Why do you think the Royal College of Nursing and Unison didn't publicly back you?
That's a question I can't really answer.
How did it make you feel that they didn't publicly back you?
I just feel disappointed that this is a union that, I expected to help me in times of trouble, because, as a nurse, you need a union rep before you even get a job. You are advised to get one, because in case of any issues arising up in the future, then you have them there to support you, because you rely on those union representatives. They're meant to be like your backbone, to stand there with you. And with them doing this to me, I was quite disappointed, and it's a shame, and it's disgraceful that you see this. Are they trying? Is it because of the nature of this case that they don't want to get involved?
I think that's what it is. I think they're scared. They're scared of the Rainbow Committee.
Yeah.
They're scared of everyone who's LGBTQ plus who's going to say you're being transphobic.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're terrified. Pathetic. So you're taking the NHS Trust to an employment tribunal in April.
Yes.
What's the basis of the case?
I think the base of the case is for discrimination and for also causing me the stress and anxiety that I had to face. And I think many underlying cases, and looking at the trust, how they dealt with the issues, how they totally abused their position of power, and referring me to the nursing board, really causing me fear and anxiety. And also for a loss of my earnings as well, despite them paying me full pay. As a nurse, we always relied on overtime and all this.
Yeah.
So it's been quite difficult. Staying home has been challenging. Imagine I've been doing my, you're working nearly 3, 4, 5 days a week, and all of a sudden now you're no longer working. It's really, it did affect me severely. My children were very worried. My son, he was the worst one. I don't really talk about him much, except for my daughter, who qualified as a pediatric nurse. She got really also traumatized by the situation that she had to resign.
She stopped being a nurse.
She resigned because she was so distressed, and seeing me facing this, and she just. It also went in a sort of like a shock mode for her.
Yeah.
But she's planning to go back to university to do her master's in something else. I'm also speaking to her to at least not to give up and just go and do bank shifts, and to see now that things are sorted out. Yeah. Trying to just encourage her. But my son, I had to ask his dad, because I'm a single mom, to just take him away for some holiday. at least to just take him away from the situation.
This is it. So
Yeah.
the NHS's incompetence has not just affected you, but your family and your mental health as well.
Yeah.
How hard is it to be a Christian, you think, in modern Britain? Because the fact that the rights of a paedophile, the rights of a convicted paedophile, seem to trump your beliefs and your rights as a Christian in a Christian country. You know what I mean? Like, how hard is that for you?
And I just couldn't believe that this is England. You'd think that this is some Arabic nation, that this thing is happening like this. But even so...
No, let me tell you,
Yeah.
in the Arabic countries, this would not be happening.
It wouldn't be happening.
No, that paedophile would have no rights whatsoever.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But the way I've been treated almost like an outcast, you know, of a society, you know, and I just couldn't believe that instead of protecting your own staff, you know, I'm an excellent nurse, you know, and I say that with pride because, you know, as staff is so friendly everywhere I go. If I walk the corridors, even when I've been going to attend the meetings with my union rep, you see Jennifer.
Yeah.
Everyone just applauding. Say, Jennifer, you're a superstar. I said yes, because I'm that, you know, very friendly, and I just don't look at the rankings. To me, you're a cleaner or everybody. I'm just, you know, I respect everybody. So this happening as a Christian, I knew it was more than is a battle, a spiritual battle. You look at it that way. You know, we, as Christians, we look at it spiritually, in a spiritual perspective, that we don't war against flesh and blood, but against powers and principalities. So I knew I was dealing with strongholds and powers where I need to go and enter into prayers and fasting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, speaking more generally, do you think that in the Western world, Christianity is perhaps the one religion that people can mock and deride, and there's no punishment, there's no comeuppance to people if they want to take the mick out of Christians? It's as if we're disregarded.
I think, yes, we've seen a lot of this from the street preachers, you know. Yes, how the police have been handling the cases compared to, you know, the riots. We have all these, the Free Palestinian riots, compared to how they handle them, and compared to how they handle the preachers. We see that, you know, something wrong there, you know. But then, you know, people are beginning to stand up for the church, for Christianity, for their values. And with this case, it also awakened many people to stand up for your faith. You believe in the Lord Jesus Christ. You shouldn't be ashamed of it. You know, no matter what comes, that God will fight your battle, just like what He's done for me. Yeah.
Do you think the NHS is too woke?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The NHS, you can see how, you know, with the issue of the Darlington nurses, with Sandy Peggy, what's happened to them, which is unbelievable that this even had to go through court and Supreme Court, you know, to fight these cases is you know, I don't understand that from their cases, they've not even learned any lessons from these two cases, Sandy Peggy, because it took quite long.
Yeah.
Even with the Darlington nurses, before my case even came into the picture. So I think with this case of mine, it's really sent out a big, massive awakening for the NHS system to really, you know, come out of their shells and, you know, work as a, you know, the National Health Service that they are, their job, and, you know, and not so much be indulging to all this. I know, with the societal norm that, you know, they're allowing to embed the system. It's awful.
So what next for Jennifer Melle? What does the future hold for you?
Oh, you know, I thank God. And I believe God has good plans for me, and I'm looking forward to go back to work, and whatever, is out there, I'm more open. To be honest, I'm open, you know, to new roles, new opportunities. You know, I just want to serve my nation, you know, and serve the people.
Well, Jennifer, you are an inspiration. You're a hero. I hope you do still stay within nursing. whether that's privately, because I don't think the NHS deserve you, to be honest. But I hope you do continue to serve the nation.
Absolutely,
That's what you want to do. Thank you for joining us today, and God bless you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for watching this very special edition of the Daily Expresso. Leave your comments below. Let us know exactly what you think. I'm pretty sure I know this audience very well, and I'm pretty sure you're going to agree with everything that Jennifer has said. The NHS is too woke. West treating does need to get a backbone. We all have to stop kowtowing to these societal norms that we don't all think are actually norms. But let me know what your thoughts are. Also, like and subscribe, and thank you very much. Bye-bye.